Hi everyone, how you all doing? I wonder just how much money Zelensky's had out the United States since the start of all this. I mean, who would put a figure on it? I wonder how much money he's going to be left with once he's surplus to requirements, which seems to be getting closer now. I mean, we do know why they chose an actor. It made sense. But when his use is all used up, I'm sure they're going to want rid of him. But will he retire somewhere? Maybe retire in America somewhere on a huge salary, or will they not want that? Will they decide that he's got to go, permanently removed, because he knows too much? Did you hear Biden today? He was comparing the D-Day landings and the fight for democracy against this, Ukraine and Russia. Does anybody now starting to believe that what they're doing at the moment is preparing us for World War III? That is where it's all going now, isn't it? They're making it seem like it's normal. But war, the pursuit of war, we were told to learn war no more. So for Christians, it's not normal, is it? Lifting up arms against your brother. But they paint it so glamorous, don't they? That they did their duty. They protected their homeland and they liberated their allies. So they paint it as if to say anything bad against it, you would be considered to be a traitor. But that's not how it should be. A person should be able to voice their opinion about whether they believe that having another war against another dictator like Putin, whether this is something that the average person in the street wants. Because when I talk to people, and I'm talking to a lot about this lately, excuse me, diesel fumes got the back of my throat. Actually, I'm starting to sound like Zelensky a bit, aren't I? I'm having that affected sort of gruff voice like Zelensky's got. What was we talking about here now? Oh yeah, Biden giving his speech today and comparing the D-Day landings and the liberation of Europe to what's happening at the moment. 80 years on, and we're still going to war. We never learn. It's as if they just have to have another war. It might be profitable to them, but it's not going to leave the United Kingdom. It's not going to leave France. It's not going to leave any of the NATO countries in a good state. It's going to leave them depleted because they're going to be putting boots on the ground. This is why I believe that the United States, the Anglo-American world power collectively, was using Ukraine as a bulwark against Russia. They was pushing, and that's why they funded it. So they had every intention of weakening Russia and testing Russia's fighting capabilities out, which they certainly know now. So this is why they chose an actor, so he could go along with their little game. But he knows too much now, and so he couldn't just fade into the distance, could he? Because he knows too much. He knows what they were doing all along. I'm getting sick of Biden always trotting out this democracy crap. It's their version of democracy. Doesn't mean it's true democracy. It's just how they want to put a nice little bow around the term democracy and then sell it to you. But it's pseudo, isn't it? It's all pretense. You're not going to pin your hopes on anything that Biden says, or any of the world leaders. You know, Macron, or any of them that are in NATO, because they're all of them, they're all working to one end. Now, a few years ago, we were all branded conspiracy theorists for suggesting that they will orchestrate another world war in order to bring in severe tyranny and martial law, because this is all by design. This is what they want. Don't forget, the magic year of having it all completed is 2030. They must have everything finalised by that date. And so as each year passes, as it's getting closer to that particular date, they have to accomplish a certain amount. And so if they take us to another war, that means there's going to be a population depletion. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Wars, people die. And so all these little instep manoeuvres that they're doing, you know, just lately, most of the countries are talking about conscription. What they're doing is they're getting you used to the idea. And then they'll sell you another war, another phony war. And they'll paint it so that you'll want to stand up against an aggressor, another aggressor. Hitler, an aggressor. Someone that trampled on democracy. But the truth was, now this is undeniable, the Nazis were funded by the Crown Princes of Europe. They used them as a bulwark against Russia, against the Bolsheviks, more specifically. So they funded them to the hilt and backed them to the hilt. And those at the top were actually backing both sides because they never wanted to lose. And you never will lose if you back both sides. Who's to say that they're not doing the same here? Who's to say that they're not backing Russia and backing NATO simultaneously? Because I don't think you can trust anything that they say at the moment. Because the whole last 2 years, if it's taught you anything, it's taught you that they're incapable of talking truth. And those that try to talk truth in this world, those that try to warn about what's to come. Now, something that Trump said, I know conversations come round to Trump now, and don't worry about that. But Trump says, they're not coming after me, they're coming after you. Don't you think he was giving you the biggest warning of your life? And he's right. It's not a single person at the top they're trying to take out. They're trying to take out the underlings, because there's far too many of them. And they know that. I know that. All the truth seekers out there, they know that. And that's why you will probably be happy when the Great Tribulation comes, because it will kill their plans dead. Of course, it will be a terrible time. But the alternative is that they carry on with one atrocity after another and eventually remove the useless eaters that they refer to them as. That's us. The useless eaters. The profane. Who they hate. Yes, it's true. They do hate us. And if they hate us that much, they're going to find a way aren't they? To lessen our kind. And so I don't mind when the tribulation comes. I may be petrified when I can't find food to eat, but I will think to myself, if we're all in the same boat, that means all the Zionists, all the ones that are making all the world decisions at the moment, if we're all in the same boat, where wealth means nothing, then they can't save themselves, can they? Because they'll just have to get at the back of the queue like everyone else. So the great leveller is coming. It's called the Great Tribulation. And I applaud it when it happens. Something that I've been studying for 50 years. I know it's coming. I'll see you again. But excuse my voice for sounding like Zelensky, the little bloody dwarf.